This is Rob Tebbutt for Boxing Social. I'm delighted to be joined finally by Eddie Hearn. We're here today at the Dillian Whyte Joseph Parker press conference in London. How are you, Eddie?
I'm very well. I'm rushing around today, and this was a last-minute press conference because it was a last-minute deal. And pleased to get it over the line, shocked to get it over the line, because I think both guys are mad taking the fight, but that's what makes it such a great fight, and I can't wait for July 28th.
Tell me a little bit about that, because the last time you dealt with David Higgins, there was a very long, protracted negotiation, and this seemingly came together, Dave Higgins told me, in less than 48 hours. What was different?
We've worked together before. He trusts us, I trust him. Both guys just wanted the fight. You know, obviously the landscape's a little bit different now. Before he was world heavyweight champion. Now he's not. He wants to get back there, and he wants to get, in a position to challenge for that world heavyweight title again. And these are the kind of fights that can stake that claim. It's a 50-50 fight, although I've just seen with the bookmakers that Dillian Whyte is the outsider in the fight, which I was quite surprised about. But, I think credit to Dillian Whyte. And I'm so pleased for Dillian Whyte that he gets his chance on this platform, on this stage, because he's given everything to this sport. He's never, ever turned down a challenge. Sometimes he's had to take less money than he wanted to. Sometimes he's had to fight quicker or slower than he wanted to. But he's followed the plan, and now he gets his chance to shine on a massive platform. And if he wins this fight, the Joshua fight is absolutely cast iron. And if he can stop Joseph Parker, then that fight becomes absolutely huge.
I sat down with Dillian Whyte a couple of days ago in Miguel's gym, and he seemed to me very objective about sort of the way things are going in his career. I believe at the time he was speaking with Joseph Parker, or certainly that deal was on the verge of being done. You mentioned it yourself in this press conference that sometimes, you've been on the phone, many conference calls and stuff. Have you noticed a change in him, in his thought process and the way that he's approaching potentially not getting these big fights?
It's been very frustrating for Dillian because, we wanted that Deontay Wilder fight. And when you're willing to pay someone double what they've ever earned before, you start thinking to yourself, why won't people fight me? And he's had to go through these fights, fought Helenius at late notice, fought a war with Chisora, fought a great fight against Lucas Brown, and now he's fighting Joseph Parker. But I'm just pleased for him, and now he's pleased that he has that big fight, that platform and that opportunity to go out and make a major statement to the world. I think outside of Joshua Wilder, I think this is probably the biggest fight in the division. So, like I said, just really happy for Dillian that his hard work's paid off.
Now, since I last interviewed you, you've become the $1 billion man.
Apparently.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Talk to me a little bit about the deal with Dazn.
It's an honour, a life-changing opportunity for us in that we're building from the ground up. If you imagine the dream job for a boxing promoter, it's to have this huge pot of money to go out to sign fighters, put the fights on you want, but also help with the production, the ring walks, the venues, the canvas, the look and the feel of what these people are trying to do. And they're so bright, they've got so much money, they're so successful in what they do. And people talk about, it's a new platform. You have to understand the people behind this. This is Access Industries, this is Warner Music, this is Spotify, the people that own these kind of brands. They recognise that the way people are digesting content is changing. And we're up against it because no one wants us to succeed in America, but I've been there before. So we're planning at the moment, we've got our first press conference end of June, early July, announce our first shows, announce our new signings, and I can't wait.
Talk to me a little bit about that, because I remember when you first launched Matchroom USA, one of your selling points, as it were, was, we work with everybody. You were doing a deal with Dimitri Salita and various other guys. Seemingly lately, that kind of doesn't still seem the same. Not that you're not working with anybody, but as you say, people potentially don't want to see you succeed, or you're going out there and you're ruffling a few feathers, I think it's probably fair to say.
They've always not wanted us to succeed, and when I say work with anyone, we do. And the people that you're mentioning there don't have network deals. Obviously, if you're working on one network, you're unlikely to work with another promoter who's on another network, because your objective is to provide great fights for that network, and so is theirs. That's why us and Frank Warren don't make a lot of fights. Not because I particularly dislike him, although the feeling's probably not quite mutual in that respect, but he's trying to produce good content for BT, I'm trying to produce good content for Sky, and that's our objective. So I'm willing to work with all promoters, particularly the ones that don't have the platforms, and there's many of them who have fighters but don't have the platform. So you've seen us work with people before. My primary objective now in America is to make Dazn the home of boxing. They have 16 shows in the UK, 16 shows in the US, and then another major announcement coming in terms of unbelievable content for fight fans in the US on Dazn very soon. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're up for the challenge.
So I mentioned Dimitri Salier as just a sort of a throwaway example, but I'm talking more along the lines of guys like Shelley Finkel, Al Haymon, who I understand isn't a promoter. Is there any risk of you potentially upsetting those guys and making it more difficult for yourself?
Yeah, we'll upset all of them. But if they're smart, they'll realise that Al Haymon can't service his fighters. He can't give them what they need. We can. So I appreciate he wants to keep his bigger names on Showtime, but there's a whole roster of fighters that aren't getting the activity or the money that I can offer. So why wouldn't you actually be looking to put them on the platform? More perhaps about control and not wanting to help or give me that leg up to start becoming a dominant force in the US. It's too late for that. It's already happened. So, like I said, we're up for the test and exciting times ahead.
One of those guys, Gervonta Davis?
I've made an offer to Mayweather Promotions, yeah. He's under contract with them, so I wouldn't make an offer to Gervonta, but to work with Gervonta and more with Mayweather Promotions and give him an opportunity to fight for huge money.
Okay, and just lastly, Joshua Wilder, talk to me. I haven't spoken to you in 2.5 months. Lots has happened. Where are we with Joshua Wilder?
We're close. We're talking. It's just the case of whether it gets done in time to happen next. Our next fight will be Povetkin and then Wilder, or Wilder and then Povetkin. Right now we are running out of time. We have a deal virtually in place with Rybinski and World of Boxing for Povetkin. But Joshua wants to fight absolutely anyone. And I think whatever happens, we'll go into that next fight, if it's not Wilder, with it already signed.
You mentioned that, so it could be Povetkin and then Wilder, but you also said that Dillian Whyte, if he wins this fight, Joshua is cast iron. Would it go Povetkin, Whyte, Wilder?
No. Wilder will definitely happen in the next 2 fights. But Whyte could happen next summer, I don't know. But if Dillian Whyte stops Joseph Parker, there is absolutely no question he will get to fight Anthony Joshua.
Okay, well, Eddie Hearn, I owe you 2 minutes. Thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social. Always a pleasure catching up with you.
Cheers. Thank you.